Greetings, 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 greetings. Grab your tea. Good morning, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Kwasapeacefull Eating, Culinary, and we're in the kitchen. Shout out to all of my early risers this morning that made it to the 5 a.m. community workout. Feel free to support the Body Culinary YouTube channel and platform while it's there. Reciprocate where you find value. Today I wanted to check in. Now that we're all cleaned up, got out of all of that sweat, and we're not worried about sweating out the Afro. I'm about to prep some food, and it got me thinking, as usually I do when I'm in the garden or the kitchen, about spending so much money on products, like on skin products. And I'm saying this as someone that's had a truckload of acne, scarring, and hyperpigmentation. And I'm not the food police or the makeup police. I'm not anti-makeup, though I do prioritize being able to enjoy my human suit, my own hair and skin. That's really, really important because, to be quite honest, it didn't feel good to have so much hyperpigmentation, right? I felt, embarrassed, to be quite honest, especially as someone that eats, that prides myself on eating really healthy, and as someone that's chosen to live a healthy lifestyle for many, many decades. So I was like, what's up with the skin? So that's what we're going to chat about today. So grab your tea. If you're new to my channel on YouTube, welcome. I'm Body Culinary. I'm a professional chef, a personal trainer that has been into healthy eating and fitness for over 35 years. I'm a natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. I really enjoy my human suit. I treasure being a natural born woman, and I strive to really take care of myself to the best I can, which I consider health insurance. There's medical insurance, though taking care of your body and eating real food to me is health insurance. And so what I love to encourage on my channel, on my platforms, are leverage lifestyle practices. In addition to understanding that this is its original option, but it's a definite option, right? For ease and for comfort, right? Wearing and sweating out hair, especially if you have really fine cottony hair that doesn't take a lot to all these chemicals and stuff. So this is off the table. It's not holding me back from any workouts. I don't twist it. I don't oil it. None of that stuff. So this is one level of freedom, and that frees up more time and resources to focus on the 3 leverage lifestyle practices. And they are what I call peaceful consumption, aka food that right? That means it's kind to your arteries, food that is kind to your skin, kind to your colon. It doesn't leave you feeling like you have 4 food babies. I know I bloat and carry weight very easily. I only have half of a thyroid, right? So peaceful consumption, a daily personal movement practice, aka the 5 a.m. workout, and garden/nature therapy, right? Even if you are in a small space. If you're looking for reasons to get to these lifestyle practices that give you back so much more for the investment of your time, energy, and attention, especially when you're on the internet. Hopefully, you're thinking like, wow, this is an investment of my time. Any investment, you should be getting back more for your investment if it's a good investment. So those are the 3 lifestyle practices that I share. And the good news is, irregardless of whatever your budget is, your living situation, if you have enough space, an exercise mat, you have enough space to administer some deep therapy to yourself. And that's a huge distinction. We move because of how it makes us feel. First, looking cute, that's nice. That's nice, but this is not just about aesthetics, right? We're being encouraged to just sedate ourselves. And that's not getting to the root cause of a lot of our discomfort, our anxiety, our fears. It's not helping us. It's actually making us weaker. So we can solve a lot and actually not only mitigate a lot of the problems, right? We don't want a problem or a solution that gives us 10 more problems than it's supposed to solve. Does that make sense? That doesn't make one iota sense. So I like to think of, how would my grandma Lou think, who had a lot of common sense. Some of those women that lived to almost 100 had a lot of common sense and wisdom, not just information that was Googled on the internet in the absence of a context of wisdom. So, a simple, natural lifestyle. As someone that's classically trained as a chef, people may not think that simplicity is gourmet, but it actually is. It actually is. There's a lot that's right underneath our noses. There's a lot of life we're leaving on the table. There's a lot that we're not taking advantage of. And so some of these ancestral simple foods, they're so much more satisfying than all of the chippy chips. Used to be a junk food junkie, potato chip, especially barbecue potato chip, aholic. But you'll never get satisfied. Why? Because it's not real food. And people may not want to hear that, right? Because we don't want to let go of our pacifiers, right? The things that we're using to self-soothe. Those self-soothing with lots of substances is often weakening our resolve. In our subconscious, we don't feel good about sedating ourselves, and it's just not getting to the root of the problem. There are options. There are options that are actually enjoyable. There are options that are actually satiating. So we won't have to keep eating ourselves to the point of deformity, and we can stop worrying and being triggered by all of this stuff being marketed at us, right? All of these things catering and triggering those 5 or 6 basic human fears: fear of loss of love or never finding love, fear of old age, fear of poverty, fear of death, fear of illness, fear of criticism. There are 6 primal fears. So whatever your package is, we all have those fears, right? Levels the playing field. So it's being triggered all the time, even with a lot of the things that we're ingesting as entertainment. Even I love music, soul music, but a lot of it, if you listen to the lyrics, is their stories, their instructions, they're creating pictures, and it's triggering a lot of what we're ingesting and processing in our brain, right? Is triggering a lot of our mindless autopilot behaviors. And then we wonder why it's so challenging to change. But we're not getting to the root cause. So the only person that has a vested interest in getting to the root of our issues is the person in the mirror. So before you buy another product, take it from somebody that bought salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, Proactive, great marketing, because that was like almost $50 a pop plus shipping for years. Um, you can get so much out of your food. Think about it. If you're buying a cleanser, and most of these things now have a whole system with lots of plastics and all kinds of stuff that can sit on the shelf I don't know how long, but basically lots of chemicals. And how is it that we can't get this stuff from our food, right? What would you do in an emergency if you couldn't get to all of your products? And I invite you to consider not making it bad or wrong if you write down, right, especially this time where people, are very cognizant or becoming increasingly more cognizant of the cost per pound. If you didn't before, maybe you're paying attention now as certain things disappear off the shelves, right? But if you look at the cost per pound, for example, let's say for your greens, right, which to me is a staple, right? Your greens, your yellow and orange and red peppers, which can get really, really costly, right? That has all of those phytonutrients, things that fight cancer. It's fresh, whole, living food with distinction, vitality, energy, electricity. There's electricity in our body, right? Just putting all these labels on foods is not speaking enough to how the food behaves in our bodies. So I can tell you for a fact, something that's fried and powdered twice and then frozen and then sitting on a shelf indefinitely does not behave the same in my body as something whole, fresh, and living. Now, I have to grate this, which I am going to grate this. So what do I do with the grater? Got my handy dandy grater here. So we got the Vitamixes, but we also have, you can't get any better than Grandma Lou style. We're making this so complicated. It could all be simple, but we'd rather make it hard, right? So something simple is a grater. And this, I can make the most delicious food from simple ingredients. Beautiful food, satiating food, and food that is kind to my arteries and actually fantastic for my skin. I say it all the time, I put food on my face, right? And my main products are what I'm ingesting on the inside. That's my first line of defense, offense, you name it. It's the food, it's the food, it's the food, it's the food, which is connected to your mindset. We can sit here and intellectualize all day. But if you, like me, when I was addicted, would get off the computer or in my private moments would go to the food co-op and load up on the vegan junk food and then wonder why my skin was looking like Pop Rocks while I was eating a lot of devitalized, super processed foods, but it was vegan. Everything has to be cheese. I'm watching folks like give vegan food a tail, make a bone where there's no bone, deeply fried things look like they're twice, thrice fried, but it's vegan. It's like, I don't know what's going on with us. There's no more living water inside the food. It doesn't make any sense. It could call me simple. But anyway, before you spend another dime, another red penny on a product, I invite you to consider. I love reframing the narrative because it makes things so simple. I invite you to consider your food as the products, right? Because this is the largest eliminated organ, right? And then we have all those other organs, the kidney, the liver, the spleen, the heart, right? I invite you to consider how the food is going to behave in your body. It's going to clog up your little delicate colon 3 times, 4, 6 times a day, every day for months and years. That's a lot of clogging. 1 or 2 green juices is not going to push that out. But this has living water and fiber and nutrients in it. Probably some of us just don't know how to prepare it in a way that's digestible. And there are some things that are quote unquote raw or uncooked or unheated that we cannot eat raw. But there's so many things that we can eat living. And why would I want to eat raw living foods? I can eat everything. I know how to make most things. But why? Top secret. Top secret. I give you a hint. The energy and vitality that's in the food, right? Rather than, I don't know if anyone remembers those Flintstone vitamins that were really like full of sugar. I mean, it's kind of like an insult, but that's the power of marketing. Imagine me eating all these little sugar things. That's a lot of money that our parents spent on all of those Flintstone vitamins. Like, we don't think we're too trusting with what we're allowing, anybody to inject anything into our sacred body parts and anything into our mouths, right? We like to think we're so much smarter than animals, but we're a type of animal. And if you look around, we're behaving kind of like dumbed down circus animals. But anyway, back to the food. This is the products. You want to clear your skin, and people we're so programmed. Give me the powder, give me the recipe, give me the pill. But you're overlooking what you eat, and most people don't want to leave out the substances masquerading as food. Your cells know the difference. We got like 10 products. I mean, you let me know how many products you have underneath your bathroom counter, right? Used to be a product junkie. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of anxiety that we're spending, right? But if we look at our midsections, if we're not able to enjoy our skin, if we have no vitality, that's a clear communication. This body has a lot of electricity in it, and it's communicating with us all the time. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But if it ain't real food, y'all let me know, why is it in our body? Why are we putting things that are not real food in our body? I can tell you why I was doing it. Because it tasted good. It tasted so good. It was delicious. It was delicious going down. It was also highly addictive. It was super addictive. So let's measure out the china, right? Because we're in the process of sprouting. Let's zero this out on the scale. We're food scientists. We like to cut out the guesswork. This is a lot of fun. All right, and are you paying attention to your price per pound? So let's tear this out. Let's try. I like to cut the guesswork, right? So had I gone down another path with nutrition, I would have been doing the nutrition facts for chips and candy bars. And that's not what I wanted for myself. That's not what I wanted. But if we're willing to spend some time putting our hands in the food, touching the food, watching how the food behaves, there's a lot of information right underneath your nose, but if you don't touch and spend time with your food, that's why a lot of the healthy habits are not sticking. So let's rinse this off. Right? Are you spending time in the kitchen? Let's see which one of these tops we should use. Let's put a sprouting lid on here so we'll let these soak up the water. This is going to expand. And then we shall see what we're going to do once we sprout these. Why? So that they're digestible. Right? So we have several things sprouting. We don't have to go out and buy kombucha because we can make our own. Right? So for the amount of time we're spending online, right? Are you getting something back for the amount of time? Are you learning something? Are you having fun with your lifestyle? It's an enjoyable lifestyle. All right, let's get into these sweet potatoes. Hopefully you have your tea handy. So, what are we doing here? We're spending time in the kitchen, whether that's in the afternoon, whether that's on a Sunday. Are you putting all of your food? And I hear people, I don't have time, I don't have time. Well, it's going to cost you more time if you don't spend time. Food, and I see food prepping. It's better. People are getting better with food prepping. But it's going to cost you more time if you don't spend time really prioritizing what it is that you're putting into your body. You've got to buy more makeup, more spanks, more medications. Yeah, and we don't want to be stuck on the medications because that's not fun. And I know I'm not interested in needles. I don't like needles. I don't want to take needles. Good. There's nothing like being wheeled into, going into a surgery room and thinking like, not everybody makes it out of surgery, right? So it's better to spend the time. Spend the time, right? Instead of complaining, you can spend the time, right? I'm sure, I always feel like people would spend more time if they were doing things in community, specific community, right? To me, it has to be around specific types of activities, right? You're learning something when you're putting your hands into your food, right? So if you had aunties or grandmas, whatever, I had my grandma Lou, you spend time and I'm grading whatever she's grading for sweetbread, and I'm asking questions, and I'm learning so much by spending that time. So some people may not have those folks in their lives. So are you on the mailing list so you can come spend some time with me inside of the kitchen? You know, it's nice to receive compliments. That's nice. But are you getting something tangible? Are you learning something? Are we just becoming voyeurs looking at people live life through the internet? Or are you really incorporating some new habits and some new skills that become a part of your lifestyle, right? Are you intentional? I know, and I like to be able to enjoy my hair and skin and to move freely, as pain-free as possible, into my years when my hair turns white, and my hair is going to turn white. I'm in full acceptance that my hair is going to turn white, body parts are going to change, right? Well, I'm not going to be an excuse person and think, oh, we all got to dye something, and use that as an excuse to not really be proactive, right, or responsible, right, to be an excuse maker to not upgrade my habits. And I think perhaps from being in industries where I've seen a lot of people suffer, and in my own family seen a lot of suffering, and I've watched narcotics, alcohol, different substances make folks in my family, not that they aren't some wonderful attributes to them, but it didn't heal the depression. It didn't get to the root of what was troubling folks. I just didn't see it produce the results that I was looking for. So I'm looking for results, and I want to shorten my learning curve. That's my intention. So make sure you cut all any kind of spots out of your potatoes. Also, if you're growing your sweet potatoes, which we're doing, so again, get on the mailing list, right? When you're growing food and you're watering several times a day, you're not as likely to just be throwing things out that have a spot in it, right? If it takes you 4 months plus, 3 to 5 months to harvest something, you're going to be much more appreciative, right, of the things that you've grown and that you've watered and that you've weeded, right? So, is this connected to products? It's lifestyle. We hear lifestyle all the time, but it's so superficial. Everything is taking a spa bath and getting massage. No, this is lifestyle. And again, it's an enjoyable lifestyle, right? You don't have to leave, like when you leave the computer, you're more anxious and triggered. I got to get more products. I got to buy more stuff, right? Instead of appreciating the things that we have, right? Spending time. There's not enough. This potato is not looking so good. I might have to compost this one. Yeah, you might be for the streets, for the garden streets. So I think this potato is for the compost. Yeah, so we'll use this one. who would consider their lifestyle a product, right? Right? If you consider stress relief, I feel very confident that a lot of the things that we are medicating could be taken care of, ideally, with family, community, and in particular, around lifestyle activities, not just talk, that's nice. But I don't want to sit and talk if I'm not getting um, any kind of results, so I'm not getting something out of it. Okay. So if you spend time with your auntie or grandma, or the women in your family, you have a box grater, right? You know, we have different size holes, so usually this side we'll use for seasonings, almost kind of like a chip. This one is still smaller, this size. Then we have this size and this size. I think I want to use, and it does take some time, but this is part of the relaxation or the moving meditation, I would say. So I'm going to use this size. And actually, you'll see, it actually doesn't take that long. Right? If you're going to be watching and spending time on the internet, you can make a deal with yourself. If you want to watch all of this stuff, then I'm going to grate some fresh food, some great fresh vegetables at the same time. And I tell you, I've got all kinds of fancy doodads, but the texture of when you're using hand tools, like I have several old-fashioned hand tools here, I swear the food tastes better than even using my fancy food processor. Right? And some people may not think of this as stress relief, but it's actually quality time spent with self. And when you start spending more time in your movement practice and raising the bar on the foods that you're eating, it's a whole mindset. Then you're less likely to expose yourself to trash behavior because you spent so much time on yourself, right? You don't want to squander what you spent so much, right? It's not just the perfume that's nice, but when you really invest quality time and quality food into yourself, it starts to shift your whole mindset. Okay? So before you spend some more money on some more products, consider your food. This is also a good arm workout too, right? Consider your food, the whole mindset. Am I worth fresh grated vegetables? You betcha badookas I am. Yes, I am. I'm worth it. And it's good quality time. I could be sitting numbing out sedating in front of the TV screen, which is the same thing now as the computer. So your activities really go a long way to trigger you into mindless activity. Right? And this is I think it's really, again, it's a leverage activity. We are really grossly underestimating how deeply we are affected, right? We are creatures that mimic. We copy, we mimic, we desperately desire to be validated, right? And it's affecting our choices and our behaviors, right? The whole cycle. So I could feed a couple of people on 1 or 2 sweet potatoes, right? That's a life skill. It's a valuable life skill. So come spend some time in the kitchen. And don't come empty-handed. Some folks out here don't have no home training. I get it, right? If you didn't have anybody, you know better than to go somewhere empty-handed, right? Spend some good quality time with yourself. You can nourish your skin just by eating fresh food, right? And your palate can change. I was very addicted to junk food. Your palate literally can change. And I take a couple of extra minutes just to do the fine side. But if you don't have the money for a Vitamix, which would be $600, if you don't have the money for all this fancy stuff, use a box grater. You can get that from the 5 and dime store. Most people have things they can use for exercise and to eat healthy already in your house, right? So this is not the season to giving yourself excuses, right? If you're not prioritizing your health insurance, I'm not talking about medical insurance, but your health insurance, especially if you know you don't have a whole lot, then wouldn't it make even more sense to prioritize your health insurance, your movement practice, what you're eating on a regular basis? So I talk about this with my sister often, right? So many people are, we can have a tendency to be cheap, right? And put the cheapest things on our feet and wind up buying 20 pairs of cheap shoes, and we could have 1 really good pair of good shoes that don't mess up your arches or your knees, right? And we're cheap. We eat the cheap potato chips. Eureka! I can eat 8 bags of potato chips and I don't get full because there's a bunch of flavoring in my mouth, but it's not food. So it's for us to really change our mindset. Clothes, we buy so much cheap fashion with all these logos on it. It's a waste, right? So we mimic and we copy. And I remember a time you could kind of look up to celebrities, but now it's like not anything to look up to. It's shocking how much, it's shocking and humbling just how much we're not thinking and how much we're not using our common sense, because our emotions and our fears and anxiety are being triggered by all of this so-called entertainment, and it's these substances masquerading as food. What else can I tell you? All right, this is my short workshop for the day. Let me get offline and finish with these potatoes, but this is my dip. If I come on the internet, I want to be productive, right, and get the best bang for my time spent online that is useful. I have family, I have nieces, out there, and family members. So feel free to join me for the 5 a.m. workout. We're going to be moving all the way through the holidays because waiting to New Year's to me is a scam. But whatever works for you, if that's your cue to start over, but I invite you to consider if you're gently compassionate yet firm and honest with yourself, or you're doing the same thing year after year after year. If you're satisfied with your results, rock out. But if you're looking for a new level of results, then you might want to consider, and I recommend it to all folks, especially women. I invite you, I can't tell grown folks what to do, but I invite you to prioritize in your budget, not just perfumes and more dyes and other stuff, rock out, but I invite you to consider prioritizing however you need to get it. Coaching for communication skills, for fitness, for food preparation, for mental health, and some type of garden. Prioritize it, right, in your budget as a necessity. Raise the standard so then we don't have to be running for once or twice a year gift certificate for massage, right? So you're not running to get a vacation from the life that you feel dissatisfied by, right? Invest in yourself. Why are you being cheap with yourself? You're going to spend more in the quality of life. You'll spend more in that second half of your life when you get into menopause, and men have that version too, right? Everybody hits a wall or their body erectile dysfunction, et cetera, which crazy. Men are experiencing in their 30s, but that's another story. Though if you're not investing in education to shorten your learning curve, it's going to cost you more money. The insulin, the medications, pain medication, the trajectory of being on pain medication the second half of your life, hormone replacement therapy. You're usually not thinking about that in your 20s and 30s, but I invite you to consider it, right? Because a lot of stuff is speeding up. Sarcopenia, right? Losing a dramatic amount of muscle by age 35, a significant amount of muscle every year. There are all these little nuanced reasons that I don't hear being talked about as to why women struggle to maintain a healthy weight. Like we're struggling with panic, and so everybody's trying to rob the diabetic medication. But how about let's not give our body a reason to need medication in the first place? Epiphany, huh? So feel free to come along on a journey of whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods. I don't care what label you put on it, whatever works for you. It's not the label, it's the results. A daily movement practice and garden slash nature therapy to reset your nervous system. Again, we're moving because of the way it makes us feel. We're all at our most attractive when we're healthy. Then you don't need the makeup. You don't need it. If you want to play it around express, we could do that too. We can do whatever we want. But it is a joy to be able to be comfortable in your own hair and skin. We deserve to feel comfortable in our own hair and skin. Create a great day on purpose. If you don't have a copy already, what are you waiting for? Download a copy of Whole Fresh Living Foods. Whole Living Foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget so you can get the mindset. That's a shortcut instead of struggling and reinventing the wheel. Whole Fresh Living and unprocessed food. You see how I switched from being a really intense junk food junkie to Whole Fresh Living Foods. And you'll see shopping list there, right, with the copies of the receipts and pictures of the food. So when I'm going shopping, what am I purchasing? Right? How am I eating this lifestyle? How am I able to maintain eating this way for 12, 13 years? Eating very healthy before then, but whole, fresh living foods. You don't have to be raw vegan or any labels, right? Your body will regulate itself. Your taste buds will regulate itself. Though The standard here is real food because your body and your skin knows the difference. So you can get whole living foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget on body-culinary.com. If you want to know the heart rate monitor that I'm using, there's a list of my favorite things, my recommendations when it comes to other things in addition to the water bottles we use for the workout when you're ready to upgrade. All the little toys for massage and things to take care of yourself, because that's your responsibility. You can see all of that on body-culinary.com. Cocoon is there. The Raw Vegan Goddess Cakes workshop is there. Come join me for the 5 a.m. the full workout. And on Sundays, we have coaching at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're someone with a young woman, I have limited mentorships. Young women, mature women too, but definitely have a spot for those young women in their 20s, because I've heard women say to me, some young ladies, like, where were you when I was in my 20s? Okay, so I'm here in my 20s, and I'm making that available, mentoring to a few young women. Stay busy, stay out of trouble. There's a lot to do in terms of your garden, your fitness, your creativity, learn how to work your fashion, so you can take your economics and use it for securing your future, right? So you're not spending it all on medication, you spend it on land, travel, languages. We're leaving so much life on the table. Great day on purpose. Follow Body Culinary on social media. See you soon. And shout out to all my folks on the YouTube channel. Create a great day on purpose. Greetings, Carolyn.